Hello and welcome students to a new video lecture of English literature. I'm your English teacher Anugya Sharma. In this video we are going to study chapter number 3 of your English literature book. The title of this chapter is Ilias. This story has been written by Leo Tolstoy. So without wasting much time, let's move further into the video and start reading this chapter. Before moving further, let's read something about the author. Leo Tolstoy was a Russian author and a novelist. He was born in a well-known aristocratic family. Aristocratic means of the highest ranking in the society. He went to Kazan University to study law, but he left in the middle. He worked in the army for some time and later took up writing. Some of his remarkable creations are War and Peace and Anna Karenina. Let us read a short story by Leo Tolstoy about a man called Ilias. There once lived a man called Ilias in Ufa. Ilias's father died after 1 year of Ilias's marriage. He did not leave him much property. Ilias then had only 7 mares, 2 cows, and about a score of sheep. He was a good manager and soon began to acquire more. This story is about a man named Ilias. Ilias lived in a city named Ufa, which is in Russia. His father died after 1 year of his marriage. His father was not a very well-to-do person and left him only small property. His property included of 7 mares. Mare is the female of a horse. 2 cows and about a score of sheep. Score means a set of 20 units. That means he had about 20 sheep. He was a good manager. He worked for his property very well and worked very hard and began to prosper and acquire more. Acquire means to gain. He and his wife worked from morning till night, rising earlier than others and going late to bed. His possessions increased year by year. Ilias gradually acquired great wealth. At the end of 7 years, he had 200 horses, 150 heads of cattle, and 1,200 sheep. He hired men and women to work for him. He and his wife were very hard-working people. They rose up early in the morning and always went late to bed. Throughout the day and the night, they worked very hard to multiply their property and earn money. And as we all know, hard work always pays off. So his possessions, his belongings started increasing year by year. Ilias gradually began gaining a lot of wealth, and at the end of 35 years, he had acquired about 200 horses and 150 heads of cattle, and the number of sheep grew from 20 sheep to 1,200 sheep. He started hiring, that means employing men and women to work for him, and he became a very rich man. They tended his flocks, herds, milked his mares and cows, and made kumis, butter, and cheese. Ilias had an abundance of everything, and everyone in the district envied him. Influential people heard of him and wanted to be acquainted with him. People from distant places visited him. He welcomed everyone and gave them food. Now, when Ilias had become a very rich man, he started employing men and women to work for him. These men and women looked after his cattle and herds. They milked his mares and cows and made kumis, butter, and cheese. Kumis is a type of a special drink. Ilias had everything till enough quantity, and everyone in the district envied him. Envy means to long for something that has been awarded to somebody else or somebody is already enjoying it. Influential people, the delegates of the society, the elite class of the society, when they heard of him, they wanted to meet him and become familiar to him. So people of different places came to visit him. He always welcomed his guests with utmost courtesy and always offered them food. Elias had 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. He married them all off. When he was poor, his sons and had worked with him. They looked after the flocks and herds themselves. But when Elias grew rich, they got spoiled. The eldest was killed in a brawl, and the younger one stopped obeying his father. So they lived separately. Elias gave his son a house and some of the cattle. This diminished his wealth. When Elias and his family were poor, his sons had helped him a lot. Looking after the cattle, tendering them was done by his sons only. But when Elias grew rich, his sons got spoiled. The eldest one was killed in a rough fight, while the younger one stopped obeying him. He disrespected him and wanted to live alone. So he started living separately. Elias had to give a house to his son, and he gave some of his cattle so that he could start his livelihood. But this diminished his wealth. Diminished means reduced his wealth. Soon, many of his sheep died due to a disease. This was followed by a bad harvest, and then the Kyrgyz stole his best herd of horses. His wealth decreased, and he had to sell off his carpets, furs, saddles, tents, and the remaining cattle. His son, who had parted, went to a far off country, and his daughter was already dead. He and his wife Shimshimagi had grown old. There was no one to look after them. As Elias had given away a small portion of his property to his younger son, misfortune surrounded him. Many of his sheep started dying due to a disease. It was also followed by a bad harvest in his farms, and some dacoits stole his best herd of horses. His wealth started decreasing, and he had to sell off everything available in his home, including carpets, furs, saddles, tents, and the remaining cattle also. His son, who had already parted with him, went to a far off country. Now the poor couple, Elias and Shimshimagi, were growing old, and there was no one to look after them. Their neighbor Muhammad Shah lived comfortably and was a good man. He had pity on Elias and remembered the hospitality of Elias and said, "Come and live with me, Elias, you and your old woman. In summer, you can work in my melon garden as much as your strength allows, and in winter, feed my cattle. When you need anything, tell me, and you shall have it." Elias thanked his neighbor. He and his wife began to work as laborers and did all the work sincerely. They found it hard in the beginning, but got used to the work. They were not lazy at all. He offered him and his wife to come and live with him. He asked them to work in his melon garden during summer, and in the winter, they can feed his cattle. In return, whenever they needed anything, he would provide them with it. Elias thanked his neighbor for his help and began to work as laborer for him. They worked for him very sincerely. In the beginning, they found it very difficult to adjust in such a situation, but they were not lazy at all, and they worked sincerely for him. One day, Muhammad Shah's relative came to visit him from far. After preparing and offering them food, Elias finished the work. Muhammad Shah told one of his guests about Elias, and he said that he was aware of Elias and his fame. Then Muhammad Shah told his guest that the old man and his wife worked for him. The guest was shocked and said, "Fortune turns like a wheel. One man it lifts, another it sets down. Does not the old man grieve all over that he had lost? So the guest called Elias and his wife and spoke to them. One day Muhammad Shah's relatives came to his place to visit him. Elias and his wife served them very well, and once when Elias had finished his work, Muhammad Shah told his relatives that about Elias. The guests told that they knew very well about Elias as he was a very famous and rich man. Then Muhammad Shah told that now Elias and his wife worked for him. This was a very shocking news for his guest because once such a rich and powerful man is now working as a servant for Muhammad Shah. The guest told that fortune turns like a wheel. One man it lifts, another it sets down. It means that we can never know about destiny. Once it will make a man very rich, and at another moment fortune can turn a man into a poor person as well. The guest was very curious to know about Elias and his mental condition. Elias said, "If I were to tell you what is happiness and what is misfortune, you would not believe me. You had better ask my wife." His wife said, "My old man and I lived for 50 years looking for happiness and not finding it. When we were rich, we had no time to talk to one another. We spent much time looking after the visitors, getting work done from our laborers, and worrying about our cattle. Besides, my old man and I used to disagree, yell, and have a row. Now, my husband and I live peacefully with nothing to quarrel about. We have nothing to worry about but just think how best to serve our master. We work as much as we can and we get food and clothes. We have fur to wear and fuel to burn. When it is cold and we have all the time to talk and the time to pray. At last, we have found happiness." The guest initially laughed but soon realized that what Elias was saying was indeed the truth of life. When the guest asked Elias, he said, "If I tell you what happiness is, you would not believe me. So you ask my wife." When the guest asked Shimshimagi, she said that she and Elias had spent 50 years of their life building up their financial condition and becoming rich and richer in a hope to find happiness, but they could not find it. They spent their entire time looking after the visitors and getting work done by the servants. They had no time to talk, and once when they did, they disagreed on some point and they had a fight. Now, when they have nothing to lose, they have nothing to quarrel and worry about. All they have to do is to serve their master in the best possible way, and they now have enough time to talk and pray. And then she felt that they had found happiness. The guest found these talks ridiculous, but soon realized that what Shemshamagi told was the truth of life. Money and riches bring happiness, but more worries. One can find their true self when they have nothing to worry about. That was all for this lecture. I hope you people enjoyed the story. Thanks for watching the video and stay safe.